Imagine you're in a conversation with friends or colleagues, and every time someone shares their thoughts, you quickly jump in with a negative comment or try to outshine their idea. You may not notice it, but over time, the atmosphere shifts. People start speaking less around you, the smiles fade, and soon they might even avoid engaging with you at all. How would that make you feel? This seemingly small habit, constantly shutting others down, creates emotional distance. It can silently erode your relationships, leaving you wondering why you feel disconnected. In this video, we'll uncover 7 awful habits that could be silently ruining your reputation and causing people to look down on you. Let's dive in. Number 1. Gossiping, the silent trust killer. Let's be real, who doesn't enjoy a little gossip now and then? Whether it's sharing some office tea or dishing on someone's latest relationship drama, it feels so harmless, right? And let's face it, being in the know gives us a certain rush. But here's the brutal truth. While you're spilling the tea about someone else, do you know what others are thinking? If they're talking about so-and-so behind their back, what do they say about me when I'm not around? Yep, gossip doesn't just make people uncomfortable, it creates a cycle of mistrust. And trust me, I learned this the hard way. I used to think gossip was a way to connect with others, to seem fun and relatable, like the person who always had the latest scoop. But reality check, people started distancing themselves. Conversations became shallow because no one trusted me with anything deeper. I was the person who knew everyone's secrets, but didn't have any real, meaningful friendships. Tough pill to swallow, right? And here's something even more eye-opening. When you're constantly focused on other people's lives, you're avoiding the issues in your own. Gossip becomes a distraction, an escape from the things we need to work on within ourselves. Instead of lifting others up, you're subtly tearing them down. And in the process, you're bringing yourself down too. The moment I realized this, everything changed. I knew that if I wanted deeper connections, if I wanted people to trust me, I had to stop using gossip as a way to bond. Gossip isn't harmless, it's a trust killer. So next time someone tries to drag you into the latest drama, try this. Say, "Nah, I'm good." And watch how quickly you start gaining real respect. At the end of the day, we've all got our own stuff to deal with. Let's stop focusing on everyone else's mess. Number 2. Being passive-aggressive, the hidden relationship sabotage. Our passive aggression, the sneaky art of saying one thing but meaning something entirely different. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That classic, "I'm fine," with a cold stone face that says anything but fine. Or when someone asks you to do something and you say, "Yeah, sure, whatever," but inside, you're quietly plotting your revenge. We've all been there, and at first glance it seems like a clever way to avoid confrontation. I used to think passive aggression was my secret weapon. Why have a direct argument when I could just drop hints and make them feel guilty for not reading my mind, right? Wrong. I learned the hard way. People aren't mind readers. And even if they are, they might just be ignoring those passive-aggressive signals on purpose. Real talk. Back in the day, I was the queen of passive-aggressive texts. If someone bailed on plans, instead of saying, "Hey, that sucked," I'd hit them with, "Wow, it must be nice to be so busy." Or if a friend did something that annoyed me, I'd give them the silent treatment, waiting for them to magically figure out why I was upset. And guess what happened? Nothing. No one figured it out. I just ended up looking immature and dramatic. Here's the ugly truth about passive aggression. It's emotional dodgeball. You think you're avoiding the problem, but really, you're just throwing frustration at people without giving them a chance to fix it. And it's exhausting for you and for everyone around you. Over time, people start seeing you as difficult, manipulative, or just downright childish. No one wants to deal with someone who can't be upfront about their feelings. Passive aggression is rooted in fear. It's the fear of being vulnerable, of facing conflict head-on. We think we're protecting ourselves by avoiding confrontation, but in reality, we're sabotaging our relationships. Instead of simply saying, "That hurt," or "I'm upset because," we play mind games, hoping others will somehow just know what's bothering us. Here's a tough truth. It's not anyone's job to guess your feelings. It's your job to communicate with them. I remember the moment it all clicked for me. I was in a big fight with a friend, and I kept throwing out these passive-aggressive jabs, hoping they'd finally get the point. Instead, they looked me the eye and said, "If you can't tell me what's actually wrong, I can't help you." That hit me like a truck. I wasn't being clever or strong, I was just being a coward. From that moment on, I made a promise to myself: say what's on your mind. It sounds crazy, I know, but here's the kicker. It's terrifying at first, but once you stop playing emotional dodgeball and start having real conversations, things get better. People respect honesty, even when it's hard to hear. And more importantly, you start respecting yourself for being real, not hiding behind passive-aggressive walls. So next time you feel the urge to send that shady, "I guess that's fine" text, or give someone the cold shoulder, ask yourself, do you want to keep dodging the problem, or do you want to face it head-on and grow? Trust me, life gets a whole lot easier when you stop expecting people to decode your emotions and just tell them what's really up. And who knows, they might actually fix the problem. Wild, right? Number 3, never taking responsibility, the ultimate respect killer. Let's talk about a habit that ruins your reputation faster than anything else: never taking responsibility. You know the type. Nothing is ever their fault. Missed a deadline. Oh, it's because the Wi-Fi was down. Failed a test. That teacher hates me. And listen, I've been there. I was a master at the excuse game, always finding something or someone to blame. Why? Because it feels good. Deflecting responsibility takes the weight off your shoulders, at least temporarily. It's like a mental get-out-of-jail-free card. But here's the cold, hard truth. When you keep shifting the blame, you're basically announcing to the world, "I can't handle my own life." And people start seeing you as unreliable, immature, and, well, a mess. I'll give you a personal example. Back in school, I was notorious for not doing my homework, but I always had a flawless excuse ready. The printer broke. I had too much work from other classes. My personal favorite: I didn't know it was due today. Eventually, one of my teachers pulled me aside and said, "Every time you make an excuse, you're robbing yourself of a chance to grow. You'll never improve if you never own up to your mistakes." That hit me like a ton of bricks. I realized that while excuses might feel safe, they were also trapping me in a cycle of mediocrity. When you don't take responsibility, you give up the power to change. If everything is always someone else's fault, how are you ever going to get better? Spoiler alert, you're not. Here's what I figured out. My excuses weren't protecting me, they were holding me back. Every time I blamed something or someone else, I was avoiding the uncomfortable truth that maybe I didn't try hard enough. Maybe I could have done better. And guess what? That's not a bad thing. Real growth comes from saying, "Yeah, I messed up, but I'm going to learn from it." Taking responsibility is actually freedom. When you own your mistakes, you have the power to fix them. I remember the first time I owned up to a mistake at work. I missed a deadline, and instead of pulling out my usual laundry list of excuses, I just said, "I didn't manage my time well. I'll do better next time." And you know what happened? My boss didn't freak out. No one threw me out of the building. In fact, they respected me more. I learned that people don't expect you to be perfect. They just want you to be honest and accountable. I get it. Taking responsibility stinks in the moment. No one likes feeling like they dropped the ball, but in the long run, it's a game changer. When you stop making excuses, people start trusting you more. And, more importantly, you start trusting yourself more. Isn't it better to own your mistakes than to live in constant fear of being caught in a lie? Plus, let's be real. Life gets so much easier when you stop juggling all those excuses. No more mental gymnastics trying to remember the latest one. Just take the hit, learn from it, and move on. So, next time you're tempted to blame the dog, the weather, or the universe for something that went wrong, try this instead. Own it. It's scary at first, but trust me, it feels so much better in the long run. And guess what? People will actually start respecting you for it. Wild concept, right? Now go out there and start owning your life. Your future self will thank you. Number 4, lack of basic hygiene, the silent deal breaker. All right, let's address the elephant, or should I say the odor, in the room. Yep, we're talking about basic hygiene. I know, this is one of those topics we shouldn't have to discuss. After all, we've been around soap and water for centuries, right? But clearly, some folks still haven't mastered the art of staying fresh. Let's be real for a second. No one wants to be the person people are subtly moving away from because of, a certain smell, but it happens. And I'm not here to judge. Okay, maybe just a little, but more importantly, I'm here to help you avoid being that person. Trust me, it's not a good look or smell. Confession time. When I was younger, back in middle school, I went through a phase where I thought deodorant was optional. Yeah, I figured if I didn't feel sweaty, it meant I smelled fine. Wrong. It wasn't until one day when a friend awkwardly suggested I try a different body spray that I realized I'd been walking around like a human air freshener gone wrong. Let me tell you, nothing snaps you back to reality faster than realizing you've been stinking up the place without even knowing it. Needless to say, I made a beeline to the store and bought out the entire hygiene aisle. But here's where things get a bit controversial. Hygiene isn't just about smelling good. It's about showing respect, not only to others, but to yourself. And here's the hard truth. If you can't even handle basic hygiene, people start to wonder what else you're neglecting. It's like an unspoken red flag. If you can't manage a shower, how can you manage life's bigger responsibilities? It sounds harsh, but that's how people think. And it's not just about body odor. It's the whole package. Unbrushed teeth, greasy hair, dirty clothes. If you're walking around looking like you've rolled out of bed for the 3rd day in a row, people are going to start wondering, are they okay? Are they even trying? Here's the deeper part. Sometimes a lack of hygiene is a sign of something more serious. It could point to depression, burnout, or low self-esteem. I've been there. When I was going through a rough patch, I started skipping the basics, thinking, what's the point? But the thing is, when you stop taking care of yourself physically, it drags you down mentally too. I remember a time in my life when stress and work were so overwhelming that self-care became an afterthought. I'd skip showers, throw on yesterday's clothes, and hope no one noticed. But guess what? People noticed. It wasn't until a friend pulled me aside and asked, "Hey, are you okay? You seem off lately," that I realized just how far I'd let things slip. That conversation woke me up. Neglecting hygiene was a symptom of a bigger issue. I wasn't taking care of my mental health either. Hygiene isn't just about looking or smelling good. It's a form of self-respect. It's a way of telling yourself, I matter. I'm worth the effort. When you let go of the basics, it's like you're telling yourself the opposite. I'm not worth it. And that mindset can spiral into deeper feelings of self-doubt and insecurity. But here's the good news. Taking small steps, like brushing your teeth or washing your hair, can give you the boost you need to start feeling better. It's crazy how something so simple can have such a big impact on your mindset. I get it. Some days, the thought of dragging yourself into the shower feels like climbing a mountain. But trust me, once you do it, you'll feel like a whole new person. And hey, the people around you will thank you too. So, do yourself and everyone else a favor. Soap up, slap on some deodorant, brush those teeth, and go out there smelling like the champion you are. Because at the end of the day, good hygiene isn't just about impressing others, it's about taking care of you. And if you're still debating whether or not to hop in the shower today, here's your sign. Do it. You'll feel better, and so will everyone around you. Number 5. Constant complaining, the negativity trap. Let's get real for a second. We all know that person who complains about everything. You know the type. They could be relaxing on a tropical beach, cocktail in hand, and still find something to whine about. Ugh, it's too sunny, or this sand is too sandy. Sound familiar? And if you're sitting there thinking, I don't know anyone like that, well, you might be that person. But hey, don't panic. We've all been guilty of it at some point. Yours truly included. There was a time in my life, especially when I was stressed, where I couldn't stop complaining. And it wasn't even about major things. I'd walk into work and grumble, why is it so cold in here? Or why is this coffee so bad? It became second nature. But then, one day, a friend hit me with the cold, hard truth. You know you complain more than anyone I've ever met, right? Ouch. That stung. I hadn't even realized how negative I'd become. Here's the thing. Constant complaining isn't just draining for you. It's exhausting for everyone around you. Negativity is contagious, and when all you do is focus on what's wrong, people start seeing you as a dark cloud. Worse, they start avoiding you. Trust me, when you bring negativity to the table all the time, people start thinking, if they're always unhappy, maybe they're the problem. But here's the deeper issue. Constant complaining is often a mask for something bigger. When I was in my complaining phase, it wasn't really about bad coffee or a cold office. It was about feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and out of control. Complaining was my outlet, but it wasn't solving anything. If anything, it made me feel even worse. I started noticing how people reacted to me and, honestly, how I felt about myself. Life is always going to throw curveballs. Things will go wrong. That's just reality. But when all you do is complain, you stop seeing what's right. It's like wearing blinders that block out gratitude. And here's the secret. Gratitude is the antidote to complaining. The more you practice seeing the good, the less you'll feel the need to complain. And guess what happens when you focus on the positive? You attract more of it. People want to be around you, and you'll be surprised at how much better you feel too. Trust me, the people in your life will thank you for it. So, remember, complaining may feel like the easy route, but finding the good, that's a real power move. Number 6, the chronic lateness dilemma. All right, let's tackle a habit that's sneakier than you might think, being chronically late. You know the drill. There's always that one person who's perpetually running behind. They say, I'm just 5 minutes away, which somehow turns into 20, or they text on my way when they haven't even left yet. Sound familiar? Now let's be real. It's easy to shrug off lateness as a harmless quirk. I used to think, no big deal, they'll understand. That is, until one day, my best friend hit me with a reality check. She said, being late isn't just about showing up late. It's about showing me that you don't value my time. Ouch, that stung. I was so caught up in my own time management mess that I didn't even realize how disrespectful it was to others. Here's where it gets deeper. Being chronically late isn't just about poor timekeeping, it's a red flag. When you're always late, people start questioning more than just your punctuality. They start wondering, do they even want to be here? Do they care? And let's face it, lateness can mask something bigger, maybe a fear of facing certain situations, or using lateness as a way to avoid being fully present. The moment I realized this, I had to take a hard look at myself. It wasn't just about being bad with time, I was avoiding things I didn't want to confront. Once I figured that out and started managing my time better, things changed. People trusted me more, and I felt a sense of pride in myself. So, if you're the one who's always running late, here's your challenge. Start small. Set your clocks 5 minutes ahead, plan your day better, and leave earlier. You'll be surprised how much your relationships and your reputation will improve. And remember, sometimes it's not the universe conspiring against you. It's your own mindset holding you back. Step up and watch the transformation. Number 7, the victim mindset trap. Now let's talk about something that often goes unnoticed, the victim mentality. We've all been there. Life throws curveballs, and suddenly it feels like everything is happening to you. It's easy to fall into that trap of, why me? Or nothing ever goes my way. I get it. I've been there too. There was a time when I felt like the world was out to get me, and I'd complain about everything, bad luck, tough circumstances, you name it. But here's the truth no one likes to admit. Playing the victim is a sneaky way of avoiding responsibility. Sure, it feels easier to say, it's not my fault. But the harsh reality, when you're always waiting for things to get better on their own, you're standing still while life moves forward without you. I had to learn this the hard way. Once I stopped playing the victim and started taking responsibility for my own life, things shifted. It wasn't easy, but I realized that blaming the world wasn't helping me grow. It was keeping me stuck in a cycle of frustration and helplessness. And guess what? When you stop pointing fingers and start finding solutions, you break free from that never-ending loop. Life's challenges won't magically disappear, but when you embrace a mindset of accountability, you become stronger and more resilient. So, the next time you catch yourself thinking the world is against you, ask yourself this: am I playing the victim, or am I stepping up to take control of my life? That shift in thinking is where real growth begins. Number 8, the silent sabotage, overpromising and underdelivering. Now let's dive into something that doesn't always get the attention it deserves: overpromising and underdelivering. Ever found yourself making big promises, fully intending to keep them, only to fall short? You promise to finish a project by Friday but miss the deadline. You tell someone you'll call them back later, but forget. At first glance, it seems harmless, right? But here's the truth. Each broken promise chips away at your credibility. I know this one well. I used to be so eager to please everyone that I'd say yes to everything, even when deep down I knew I couldn't follow through. The result? Stress for me and disappointment for everyone else. It's like building a beautiful bridge, but forgetting to secure the foundation. Eventually, it collapses. What most people don't realize is that overpromising can become a habit, a dangerous one. It's not just about letting others down, it's about letting yourself down. Over time, people start to expect less from you, and worse, you begin to lose trust in your own word. And here's the kicker. Trust is hard to rebuild once it's broken. So how do you break this cycle? Start by being realistic. Don't promise the world when you can only offer a city. It's better to surprise people with more than they expect than to fall short of what you've committed to. By managing expectations, you'll not only save yourself a lot of stress, but you'll also earn something even more valuable: respect. Ask yourself, are you setting yourself up for success, or are you silently sabotaging your own reputation with promises you can't keep? Remember, it's not about saying yes to everything. It's about delivering on the things that truly matter.